Hi, my name is Eric Grabsky with the University of South Carolina Division of Law Enforcement and Safety and a member of the Behavioral Intervention Team. Thank you for watching this video and we hope that you find it useful. Each day we are required to make decisions. Some are really simple. You make decisions like what you should have for breakfast or how you should paint the living room. Decisions like these don't alter your life and very rarely cause you any kind of physical or emotional distress, not to mention anyone else you may come in contact with. As a faculty or staff member at the University of South Carolina, you may make many decisions. These decisions are centered around choosing textbooks, lecture materials, strategies to evaluate student retention, and of course content. Have you given much thought to the decisions you would make if a student exhibited behavior that could be harmful to themselves or others? What would you do if you encountered student writing or conversation that centered around violent behavior? You may not think of these situations on a regular basis. That's why it is important to know what you can do and what support is available for you on campus should one of these situations arise.
Being able to detect these behaviors of concern early can help you to prevent a student with an issue from escalating to a point where the student harms themselves or someone else. You are not alone in the classroom when issues like the ones discussed in this and other modules occurs. Finally, this module will address how and when you can contact the Behavioral Intervention Team, known as the BIT.
As a professional, you can understand that students on our campus are incredibly diverse. With that comes a diverse list of behaviors. Some behaviors make us uncomfortable, but don't make us feel like anyone's safety is being threatened. However, at times we encounter behaviors that raise concerns about safety either to the students themselves or to others. These are the behaviors that cannot be ignored. Failing to detect and/or act upon signs of potential dangers can have devastating consequences.
When determining what may indicate a potential threat, it is important to focus on behaviors. These include anything that can be observed, such as appearance, spoken or written words, or physical actions. Appearance. Behaviors which regularly interfere with classroom environment or management. Notable changes in academic performance or in behavior or appearance. Inappropriate or strange behavior. Low frustration tolerance. Appearance of being overly anxious, tense, or fearful. Spoken or written word. Writings and comments that endorse violence, unusual interest in violence. Indirect or direct threats made in writing or verbalizations. Threats of harm toward self and/or others. Expressions of suicidal thoughts or feelings of hopelessness about life. Physical actions. Overly aggressive behaviors toward others, inability to set limits or redirect focus. Lack of respect for other people. Anger management problems. Possible inebriation or drug use while on campus. This list isn't all-inclusive, and you may encounter other behaviors that concern you. It's always important to ask yourself whether your concern or discomfort is affected by your own history or experiences, or if you are objectively interpreting an individual's behavior.
It's always better to err on the side of trusting your gut feeling. When in doubt, do not ignore the behavior. Take action and contact BIT.
Before you learn how to contact BIT, you should know what BIT is. BIT is the University of South Carolina's Behavioral Intervention Team. This is USC's version of what many institutions refer to as a Student Concern Team or Threat Assessment Team.
BIT is a multidisciplinary team that meets regularly to serve 5 major functions for the university. They assess the likelihood of violence or harmful behaviors for members of the campus community or the campus itself. They provide recommendations to appropriate campus constituents in order to manage concerning situations and behaviors, preferably before they escalate. They support and advise individuals who are experiencing concerning or threatening behaviors. They also educate and empower the campus community to recognize, report, and address concerning behaviors. Finally, they provide methods for tracking patterns and trends in behaviors.
BIT is composed of representatives from the Office of Student Conduct, Law Enforcement and Safety, Student Health Services, Counseling and Human Development, University Housing, and ad hoc members as needed.
As you can see, the BIT unifies key areas of the campus to provide a centralized point of focus. This allows us to respond to behaviors of concern in the most informed, holistic, and timely manner possible. What might have previously been isolated reports or bits of information to various offices or individuals are now able to be viewed from a more integrated perspective. The goal is to allow these pieces of the puzzle, potential early warning signs, to be identified and integrated so the potential threat from or to any individual can best be assessed in the most timely manner possible. The primary objectives are to promote individual safety and prevent campus violence.
Before contacting BIT, there are some things you can do to help assess or intervene with the behavior or situation. A good place to start is to review guidelines for responding to student misconduct and responding to students in distress on the BIT website. After reviewing these guidelines, you may decide that no further action needs to be taken, or you may feel that you're able to address the behavior or situation without assistance. However, if you have any doubts about whether the behavior or situation may indicate a potential threat to an individual or others, or if you're not sure how to handle it, we urge you to contact the BIT for additional consultation and support.
Contacting BIT is easy. Simply call 803-777-4333 during business hours and state that you would like to be connected to a member of the BIT. Although BIT works to mitigate and prevent potential crisis as early as possible, BIT does not respond directly to emergencies. In the event of an emergency or crisis situation, call 911 immediately or contact the University of South Carolina Division of Law Enforcement and Safety at 803-777-4215.
It bears special mention that there are several behaviors that violate the University of South Carolina's Code of Conduct, but don't quite warrant contacting the BIT. Examples include academic dishonesty, theft, or possession of alcohol. These should be reported using the Student Code of Conduct referral form. Of course, if they involve behaviors that make you concerned about potential harm to the student or others, contacting BIT is suggested.
Now that you have learned about BIT and the types of behaviors and situations that might prompt you to contact us or emergency personnel, we would like you to view 3 brief video vignettes illustrating related situations. As you watch them, ask yourself the following questions. What are the behaviors that concern you? Do these behaviors signal potential for harm to the individual or others? How would I respond in this situation? And should I contact BIT or the USC Division of Law Enforcement and Safety?
So what's going to happen in septic shock? There's going to be 2 stages. In the earlier stage, the patient is going to arise. Michael.
Yeah.
Can we step outside for a second? I need to ask you a few questions.
About what? I'm busy.
This won't take long. Come on, let's go step out into the hall for a minute.
All right, but it needs to be fast. I'm waiting for a ride. You know, some stupid officer took my ID.
Come on, Michael, let's step outside for a second. I've noticed that when you come to class, you seem really, really tired. You don't participate. You don't even seem to be paying attention during class.
I am paying attention. I mean, I just have a lot on my mind, and I already know all this crap.
Michael, I've also noticed an odor that leads me to believe you're drinking before class. And last week I saw you taking some pills in class. Look, we can talk about whatever is going on. We can walk over to the Counseling and Human Development Center. They have people that can help you with whatever it is you're going through.
Whatever I do is my business. It's none of yours. And just because you don't have a life doesn't mean that we don't have to have a life. If you think I'm a drunk, that's fine. But I would like to see you put up with half of the things that we have to put up with and not have a drink. You know what? I'm not dealing with this crap. I'm done.
This was a necessary confrontation. It could not be ignored. The faculty member realized that the student was disruptive to the class and probably personally troubled. He addressed it by making sure the conversation was private, referring to the Counseling and Human Development Center, and making sure the instructor is not trapped in the room if the student becomes angry, confrontational, or physical.
Additional steps to consider before confronting an intoxicated student would be familiarity and specific information about on and off-campus support available for that student, familiarity with the Student Code of Conduct policies regarding student intoxication in the classroom, alerting the Division of Law Enforcement and Safety beforehand of the possibility of a confrontation with a disruptive and possibly aggressive student. Following this confrontation, the instructor should alert law enforcement and safety that a potential intoxicated student is leaving the building, contact the BIT team and the Division of Law Enforcement and Safety about the possible threat to the instructor's safety.
All right, guys, just a reminder, next class we'll be having our midterm exam. You will have exactly 90 minutes and not a minute longer to finish the exam. Okay, let's go ahead and begin today by reviewing last night's readings. Jess, are you okay? What's going on? Jess, are you okay?
I can't breathe.
Okay, Tim, call 911. Let's get the paramedics here, and then maybe follow up with a call to the counseling center. Let them know what's going on too. Jess, just try to relax, okay? Take deep breaths. Let's step outside and wait for the paramedics to arrive, okay? Just try to relax, okay? Take nice deep breaths. Here, have a seat. Can you tell me what's going on? Have you had this happen before?
Yeah, like a couple of times. There's just a lot going on with school, and I feel like I'm under a lot of pressure.
Yeah, okay. Paramedics will be here soon, and I know they'll be able to assist you, okay? I think it would be a good idea, though, if you went and talked with someone at the Counseling and Human Development Center. They might really be able to help you manage your anxiety. How about I check in with you next class to see how that went? Okay.
College is a time of growth and change. However, it can also be a highly stressful time in the lives of many of our students. Students frequently come to campus experiencing psychological and medical challenges to their health and welfare. The literature clearly shows that psychological and physical concerns are barriers to student retention and academic success.
In cases where students are experiencing acute states of mental or psychological distress or any life-threatening condition, immediately call 911. To reach the Counseling and Human Development Center, please call 803-777-5223.
In routine cases, the stress may be visible or hidden. On the local and national levels, there's been a dramatic rise in the number of college students with serious psychological and medical health issues. This may include suicidal thoughts, depression, anxiety, and substance abuse, just to name a few.
So please take time to let students know that emergency, routine, and preventative services are available. All services are confidential and provided by a knowledgeable and caring multidisciplinary team. Finally, faculty, staff, and administration are welcome to consult with the Behavioral Intervention Team about how to assist students they are concerned about.
I need a city council right now. I need to sign up for classes.
All right, certainly. If you just want to fill this out for me.
I don't have time to fill out a form. I've got class in 15 minutes and this needs to happen now.
Okay. Are you able to come after class?
No, and honestly, I'm tired of being treated like a number. All this university does is treat people like numbers, and that's not right.
Okay. Right now, all of our counselors are seeing someone.
No, they're probably just sitting back there playing computer games. I want to talk to someone now.
Okay, well, let me call the director and see if he's available.
All right.
Dr. Richardson, are you available to see someone right now? All right, thank you. All right, he'll be out shortly if you just want to have some.
Fine.
Hi, I'm Dr. Rosen. Would you like to talk to my office?
Fine, let's go.
All right, it's right this way. Well, thanks for coming to talk to me. I understand that you're in a real rush to be heard. And I was wondering if that was maybe more because of a different scenario, not necessarily just the wait.
Who are you, friggin' Freud? I don't have a problem. The problem is your office. You guys are too busy probably playing computer games for me to get my classes signed up for. I need my classes signed up for today, and if that doesn't happen, someone's gonna get hurt, and it's not gonna be me.
Okay, well, let me see if I can find the next available appointment, and I'll be right back.
Fine.
Hey, Corey. I need to call the campus police and have them come over. Our student just made a verbal threat. I'd like them to come talk to him for us.
All right, get it.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
The way we respond to a student who is agitated or in distress can make a critical difference in whether the situation becomes diffused or escalates to potential violence. In our scenario, you notice that the receptionist remained calm despite the student's angry and aggressive behavior. He didn't mirror his rudeness or negative emotion, and this reduced the chance of escalation. He also expressed empathy, such as when he said, "I understand you're in a hurry," and offered alternatives instead of flatly denying his request, or in this case, demand. This can also potentially diffuse the situation. He expressed more empathy and caring statements when he said, "I do want to help you, and I see you're frustrated." His offer to speak to the supervisor showed that he was making an effort to find a solution.
When the director asked the student to come to his private office, this helped the situation from escalating. The director also paraphrased the situation and invited the student to share his concerns. In this way, he gently probed for underlying distress. Had the student been suicidal or had some other issue that needed to be discussed, this may have helped the student feel comfortable to express it. Lastly, the director stayed calm, even when the student made a threatening comment. He made an excuse to leave the room in the guise of appeasing the student. This allowed him to alert law enforcement and safety without arousing the student's suspicion. Module 4 is all about how you handle different student issues. By following a few simple suggestions, you can minimize threats to the student with the issue, yourself, and other students in your classroom. Once you've completed Module 4, you will be able to approach a student with an issue, deal with students that witness disturbing behavior in the classroom, handle your own feelings of discomfort, and persevere with civility and confidentiality.
Anytime a student in the classroom exhibits disturbing behavior, you are concerned. Should you respond immediately during class, or should you wait until class is over? You need to ask yourself, does the behavior significantly impact your teaching? Will a response to the student benefit from privacy and confidentiality? The following are a few suggestions to start a conversation with the student. Can we meet after class to talk? This course can be tough. I think you're doing... I'm a little concerned that you... I notice that you are agitated when you... If a student is receptive to these openings, there are a few things that you can do. Express your concern, discuss the changes that he or she can make, and be sure to thank the student at the end of your conversation. If the student is not receptive, explain that if their behavior continues to be disruptive, you will make a student conduct referral. After this conversation, make the referral to BIT for follow-up or intervention.
Fellow students may notice disturbing behavior before an instructor does. It is important to deal with these feelings quickly. Assist your students in understanding and responding to these behaviors in appropriate ways. You will need to balance dealing with disruptive behavior and the student's dignity and privacy. Intervention can be uncomfortable. You must work with a difficult situation while you deal with your own feeling of personal discomfort. If you feel uncomfortable talking to a student with an issue, discuss the course. Talk about progress on assignments, participation, expectations, and academic requirements. If approached by a student whose reaction concerns you, enlist another person to meet with and coach you prior to meeting with the student again. If approached by a student who experiences an emotional breakdown, emphasize that you are there to help, but don't counsel. You can contact BIT for assistance in determining which office on campus can assist. When making a referral regarding student behavior, remember that any time a student is a threat to themselves or others, you should contact the USC Police immediately. You can make a referral through our website at www.sc.edu/bit. You may be contacted by email or phone for follow-up information. BIT consults in classroom management when student behaviors raise suspicion of potential threat and will intervene with students and others as needed. BIT takes a holistic approach with students.